What Donald Trump is very, very good at is identifying these issues that will appeal to his base, that will motivate his base. And he is also very good at driving his opponents crazy.
Yeah, look what happened. Is this crazy?
Roughly 50% of the country will be overjoyed to see Donald Trump re-elected, and roughly 50% of the country will be absolutely devastated.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
One of the questions that you will have to ask on the Democratic side going forward is, I still couldn't tell you, honestly, what Kamala Harris's platform was, particularly, other than she's not Donald Trump. Both sides are unwilling to even concede that the other side may have a point on anything. And instead of it being a political debate based on ideas, based on principles, based on policies and how to solve the problems that the country faces, it has increasingly become a belief that the other side is evil, not just wrong, not just mistaken, but evil, and that in opposing them, you are good. And when you both talk yourselves into that position, how do you talk to each other?
Mr. Speaker, can I begin by congratulating President-elect Trump on his historic election victory. As the closest of allies, the UK and US will continue to work together to protect our shared values of freedom and democracy.
The difference with Donald Trump is that he expects this performative diplomacy. You must, in public, congratulate him. Keir Starmer's Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, in the past, has described Donald Trump as a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathizing sociopath, a dangerous clown, and a tyrant in a toupee. I can imagine that once those comments are reported back to Donald Trump, that probably he's not going to be very happy about that.
Great honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump has said that he will end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, and nobody's absolutely certain about how he plans to do that. But the expectation of many is that he will say to Vladimir Zelensky that he is not going to supply weapons anymore, and that he needs to cut a deal with Vladimir Putin, which will probably involve, at the very least, surrendering significant parts of eastern Ukraine to Russia. And you'll also see European nations thinking, well, we are still quite committed to Ukraine and helping Ukraine fight off Russian invasion. If America is no longer doing that, do we continue to support Ukraine and risk offending America, or do we desert Ukraine and then worry about who Vladimir Putin's next target might be?
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Fundamentally, journalism is not about picking a side and saying I'm with these guys and not with those guys, or not saying I need to ease up a bit on this guy because he's just been elected. It's about establishing the truth as best you are able, presenting that truth with supporting evidence to people. Now, admittedly, a lot of people are now just predisposed to disbelieve you if the truth that you offer them does not conform to what they wanted to hear. But the fact that the guy who has been telling people not to trust the media for the last 10 years has been re-elected as president doesn't fundamentally alter the fact that for the next 4 years, that same media has to carry on kind of plugging away at establishing stuff, finding evidence, and presenting it to people. Because if you stop doing that, why are you here? What is the point of you anymore?